Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's great to be here. Today we do have the bands playing after chapel. So chapel will be a little short today, and then we will jump right into bands playing. We'll have 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders sharing today. Let's see. So thinking about that, I want you to think about your favorite instrument. It can be a band instrument or another instrument. Stand up and tell it to someone next to you. Go. Stay standing up. We're back here. 5, 4, and 3, 2, 1. Give me a thumbs up for any drum lovers out there. I heard a lot of them. Thumbs up for any guitar lovers. Thumbs up for the trumpets. Ukuleles. Flutes. Nose flutes. That's a thing. Didgeridoos. Accordions. Piano. Organ. Did I miss any? Just say them if I missed some. I'm sure I missed a lot. That's wonderful. Let's start with our opening words here together. In the name of God the Father, praise. In the name of His Son Jesus. In the name of God the Spirit. Let us join our thankful voices. All right, you need your fingers in your finger holsters for this one. It's been a while. This is about the 12 men that went to spy on Canaan. And they showed great courage and strength relying on God, at least the 2 that came back and reported well. And we'll talk about that, our courage and relying on God today in our message. So here we go. Fingers in your finger holsters. And remember, you're going to go shing. Wonderful. And when you make that shing sound, you're going to make an X and 2 extras. It's been a long time since you've done this one, because we need 12 men, and you can't count to 12 on your fingers. But you can make Roman numerals, an X and 2 extras. You get it now? All right. Fingers in those fingers holsters. Here we go, ready? Shing! 12 men went to spy on Canaan, 10 were bad and 2 were good. What did they see when they got to Canaan? 10 were bad and 2 were good. Some saw giants, big and tall. Some saw grapes in clusters fall. Some saw God in it all. 10 were bad and 2 were good. Lovely, we got it. Fingers back in your finger holsters. You're going to shing them up like you're in the Wild West and you're drawing your pistol ready. Shing! A little faster. 12 men went to spy on Canaan, 10 were bad and 2 were good. What did they see when they got to Canaan? 10 were bad and 2 were good. Some saw giants, big and tall. Some saw grapes in clusters fall. Some saw God in it all. 10 were bad and 2 were good. That was pretty good. I dare say we can go a little faster. 3, 2, 1, shing! 12 men went to spy on Canaan, 10 were bad and 2 were good. What did they see when they got to Canaan? 10 were bad and 2 were good. Some saw giants, big and tall. Some saw grapes in clusters fall. Some saw God in it all. 10 were bad and 2 were good. I need one more click up. Fingers in your finger holsters. We're going to light speed, everybody. Light speed. 3, 2, 1, shing! 12 went to spy on Canaan, 10 were bad and 2 were good. What did they got to Canaan? 10 were bad and 2 were good. Some saw giants, big and tall. Some saw grapes in clusters fall. Some saw God in it all. 10 were bad and 2 were good. Bravo. Give yourself a hand. All right, would you guys sit down? I said today it would be pretty short. We're going right into our message so we can have time at the end here. We talked about those 12 men, and 10 of them, when they went into Canaan, if you remember this story, does anybody remember even the story I'm talking about? Can someone tell me what I'm talking about? Audrey, go ahead and say it nice and loud. What did the 10 men see? Uh-huh. Okay, and then what did the 10 people say? Yeah, we can have this land with the help of God. They relied on God and they trusted in His promises. Well, we're talking about trusting in God's promises today. Go ahead to this next slide here. I gotta remember what I got. Oh yes, okay. So this was Mr. Rehbein's project a week ago. That is 24 by 24 square feet. So if I went about here to where Mr. McGregor is, and over to here, like that big of a space, right? So it's a pretty big space-ish, of cut up sod. Sod is that stuff that is grass, how it's kind of stuck into the ground. Well, Mr. Rehbein was so excited for this project because I'm building a playground for my children, for Jonas and Hadley. It's coming in on a truck, and I'm going to build it for them. And I had to clear this space of all this sod. Go ahead to the next slide. So you see, this was it beforehand, and I want you to look, I wish I had a laser pointer, in the very back, there's like a back strip of just a little bit of that brown stuff, of the dirt. You see that little strip? Well, I was so convinced when I started this project that I would be able to do this all by myself, that I was going to be able to take my shovel, I was going to go out, and I was going to dig and have to cut up all this sod. And so I started, and I got pretty far with that one little strip there. It was about this wide, maybe this wide, and it went a whole 24 feet. I made it all the way across, and guess how long it took me? It took me an hour and a half. It was pretty close. Yeah, an hour and a half to cut that. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to take way too long. I am tired. My arms were dead. I could not do it, and I didn't know what to do. Well, thank goodness, God gave me a wonderful wife, Mrs. Rehbein, and she said, why don't you just go get a sod cutter to help you out? And I'm like, oh, that's a wonderful idea. I might as well I should do that. It cost me just a little bit of money. I went and got a sod cutter, and I did the whole rest of it, that whole space, and look at that. I cut it, and it goes along the ground. You can roll it up, and guess how long it took me to do the whole rest of the space?
10 minutes.
An hour and a half. It took the same time to do the rest of it. I got it done in under 2 hours, 24 by 20, and with this cutter. And all I did is walk behind it. It's like a lawnmower. Oh my goodness, it was so easy. Well, you go ahead to the next one there. Oh, sorry, go back. We're gonna get to David and Goliath. But why I tell you this story is because I was working really, really hard to try to do this on my own. I was totally going to do it without any help. I was going to get it done and work really hard and get it done. Well, that's how it is in our lives sometimes. Sometimes we try to work really, really, really hard to do the right thing, or to maybe we're working really, really hard to pass that test, or working really, really hard to get that 4.0 average, or we're working really, really hard to win the big game, or to have friends who like us. We work really, really hard to say the right things, or whatever it is, we're trying so hard. Now, God does call us to use what He's given us for His glory, but sometimes we get so stuck on thinking, I can do it all by myself, and we forget that we have a God that listens to our problems and that He does it for us. He's already taken care of it for us, and we can give our worries to Him. And if I tried to do this all on my own, I could not. But all it took was asking for a little help, grabbing a sod cutter, and I was done. If we give our worries to God, He can do the same things in our life, like David and Goliath. So we've got the story of David and Goliath, and I'm going to go really quickly through this, because again, I know we want to get to bands too. But if you remember the story of David and Goliath, you had all these armies that were lined up fighting each other. The Philistines were fighting. And the Philistines had their champion. And what was the champion's name? 3, 2, 1?
Goliath.
Yeah, he was Goliath, and he was this big, scary guy that people just couldn't take down. And it says this is from Samuel, all the men of Israel, when they saw Goliath, they fled, and they were much afraid. And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man who's come up? Surely he has come up to defy Israel. And so they were just so scared of him, and no one could even stand up to this guy. Well, David knew what Mrs. Rehbein knew about a sod cutter. David knew what we know about Christ is that if we rely on Him and we give our worries to Him, then He will help us through all of our adversities. Now, it's not always going to be perfect here on earth. He gives us the promise of heaven, but we know that we can rely on Him because His burden is light. He says, come to me, for my yoke is light, my burden is light. Give me your troubles. And so, reading through the story of David, you know the story. He went out with a big old sword and lots of armor, and he got a tank, and he took out Goliath, right? No, what did he bring? Someone want to just say it? What? Yeah, he brought the sling and stone just like they do, just like a shepherd would, because he was a shepherd. And he just took three stones. And he even says, what was it? David says, he said, your servant used to keep sheep for his father. And when there was a lion or a bear and took a lamb from the flock, I went after and struck him and took it out of his mouth. And if he arose against me, I would strike down the lions and the bear. And so he says that surely the Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will also deliver me from the hand of the Philistines. So he said, if God can do all that with this, I know God can take down Goliath with this too. I know God can work through me and take care of this for us. And sure enough, he goes out, and what happens? What happens there? One shot, right? One little shot and taken care of. If anybody in the army would have tried to do that with their own might, without God, would they have succeeded? No. But because we have a God we can rely on, a God that can give us his strength, we know that he can take care of our problems too and help us and be with us. He promises to be with us here on earth too. Just like God was with David in the story of David and Goliath. Now, I really don't even remember what's next because I've had a lot going on in my brain. All right, 1 Peter 5:6-7. So this is kind of summing this all up, that we want to give our troubles to God. So I'm going to read verse 6 here. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. And so that's my prayer for us here today, that no matter what it is that you might be worried about right today, whether it's a big test coming up because it's the end of the quarter, whether it's like you're nervous maybe there's something going on in your own home with your family, or maybe it's a problem you have with a friend today, whatever it is you might have trouble with, give it to God. Pray, and he promises to be with us. Would you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us. Thank you for caring for us and promising to be with us. We're thankful that you are a God who takes care of big problems, who's a mighty God who helped David and can also help us. We pray for whatever is going on in our own lives, that we can remember to rely on you and trust in your promises. All God's children in Trinity said, Amen! All right. For offering time here, do we have a song for this? We do. Let's stand up. If you have offering, you can come on up and bring it up. And we're going to sing some Cornerstone. Remember that our hope is built on Christ. Sing together. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly trust in Jesus. Christ alone, Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong in the Savior's love. Through the storm, he is Lord of all. When darkness seems to hide its face, I rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. Sing it out loud. Christ alone, cornerstone, we made strong in the Savior's love. Through the storm, he is Lord of all. When he shall come with trumpet sound, oh, may I then in him be found, dressed in his righteousness, Christ alone, cornerstone, we made strong in the Savior's love. Through the storm, He is Lord of all. Let's sing that one more time without guitar. Christ alone, cornerstone, weak made strong in the Savior's love. Through the storm, He is Lord, Lord of all. All right, you may be seated. Fifth graders. Let's say the Lord's Prayer before we go. You always do that. Ready? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right. Fifth graders are going to start us off here. Fifth graders, you can head on to your spots. You may talk to each other for about 60 seconds. Like a big concert, like we have everything set up. There's going to be a little time between our groups here. We'll try to move it along as we can. We're going to start with 5th grade, then go to 6th grade, then they're going to play some stuff together, and we'll end with our 7th and 8th graders sharing their instruments with us here today. Now, remember, it's a bummer, we know. We couldn't do our concerts this year with, we didn't want to invite a whole bunch of people to this space from outside the school, and so we're doing this as kind of our mini concert. This is the first time, really, that we've had a chance to perform. With Christmas, we recorded things. We recorded stuff for Christmas. Same thing for Veterans Day. And now here we are and have a chance to share this with you. So we're very excited to share this. This is the 5th grade band. This is the first year that they've played an instrument like this before. You guys got to do recorders last year? Yeah, you did record. No, not recorders last year? Yeah, you did recorders last year? And so usually we'll start with recorders and move on to these. We're just going to hear a few of their notes, how we would warm up in regular band class. Just like using a scale we sing with, they're going to use a scale with our instrument. So hope you enjoy. And then we're going to play a song called Trombone Rag. We're going to hear the trombones do a lovely sound where they can slide their sound. Watch for that in the song we play. almost ready here. I'll start talking about this group. This is our 6th grade band, the second year they're playing here. And this is a little bit bigger group than we just had. We have a little bit more in our instruments. We have some clarinets in this group. Our 5th graders don't have any clarinets. They're a lower reed there. We also have a few more percussionists in this group, so we have a few more instruments than Adam's running around trying to handle everything at once. But we're going to have the 5th grade join them in just a bit, but the 6th grade has been working on this piece called Furioso. It's got a lot of little sections that we weave together to make this really cool rhythmic piece today. So here we go. We're gonna blow a few notes to warm up also, and then we'll get going. All right, again, 60 seconds. Well, the 5th grader's going to come join them. You can chat for a little bit. Go ahead. talk about these guys here while they're finishing getting set up. This is the combined 5th and 6th grade band. I actually do like combining bands around Christmas time to have a little bit of a fuller sound. We combined a lot later than that with COVID and everything going on. But what's nice about having a big group like this is our instrumentation. We have all sorts of instruments. We have a strong bass section. You'll see that in our 6th grade band, Abby at the end, she's our only trombone. But we have a full section of 4 when we combine our band. Same with our percussionists. We have 4 percussionists here, rather than maybe just Adam as our only percussionist. So it's great to combine and have a full sound. We have 2 pieces for you today. The first one is going to be called Clouds. This is a piece where the composer tried to paint about 3 different types of clouds and paint the sky with music. So here we go. This is Clouds. Got the Spirit Rock. It moves around at a nice little clip here for Got the Spirit Rock. Again, we're going to give some time for 5th and 6th. You guys can get your instruments in your cases over there. Leave them over there on the back wall. 7th and 8th, you guys can get set up, and we'll chat for a little bit. We have 2 more pieces for you. All right, so you'll notice this is our 7th and 8th grade band. You'll notice about their size. that this is 7th and 8th combined, a little smaller than our 5th and 6th combined, but man, they are mighty. It's been great to work with them because these guys are fun because I could just give them so much music, and within a week, we're already ripping through it. We've gone through so many songs today, so we picked a couple to share with you today. The first one here is called Great Clipper Race, the Great Clipper Race. Which a clipper is like a boat on the sea. So you're thinking of like two boats that are kind of chasing each other. next piece here, this is our last piece of the day, and it is one you will probably recognize right away. It is one about the circle of life, and I can't just wait to play it. All right, thanks everybody. It's great to still be able to share with each other the gifts God has given us. Have a great day.